Hey guys, all we're going to be doing today is we're going to be designing a box in Fusion 360. And it's just to help you build some skill with Fusion 360. And the best way to learn Fusion and 3D modeling in general is to just go out there and start building something yourself. So open up Fusion and we're going to go along and we're going to build a box that's quite similar to the one you're going to have to build for the Brownie Motion Smoke Cell. And I'm just going to show you the basics of how I did it. And you guys can alter the dimensions, change it a little, change it up a bit, do whatever you want with it, as long as you can turn that into a Brownie Motion Smoke Cell for the project. And even if you don't do that, it's going to be useful in a lot of other projects that we're going to be putting up soon, right? So let's get started. First thing we do is going to make a sketch on the XY plane, and we're just going to make a rectangle. That's going to be our box. So let's start from here, I guess, and we'll go to this place. Looks good. And then we're going to click on it and click E to extrude it, and we're going to extrude it upwards. And let's say we want to make the box 5 centimeters big or 6 centimeters big. Not too big, just a small box, right? You can alter the dimensions however you want later on, but we're just going to be designing a small box for now. Right now it's just a cuboid, but if you remember, the Brownian Motion Smoke Cell box actually has these wings or outlets on the edges that allow you to slide a lid on and off. So what we're going to do over here is we're just going to make a brand new sketch, and we're going to sketch on this plane over here. And what we'll do is we'll make a triangle. Now keep in mind this triangle or this measurement over here needs to be at least 55 degrees and above, because that's going to minimize the amount of material you're going to put in as supports when you're actually 3D printing the entire thing. So let's just put 56.3 degrees here arbitrarily, and we make sure to connect it to make a triangle, and we're just going to finish the sketch off. Then what we'll do is we're going to click on this and we're going to click E to extrude it once again this way, just so it's over here. But if you can see over here, it merges these two things. For reasons I'm going to explain later on in the video, we don't want it to be joined up. Instead, we're just going to want it to make it a new component of the same body. So I'm going to click OK, and then go back here, do the same thing for this side, click E once again, and extrude it over here. Now, I could do the exact same thing on the other side, but let's say I've forgotten the measurements. There's a quicker and easier way to do it as well. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to create, and I'm going to mirror this over there, just like how you would with the real mirror. And then I select this, and then I know I need to mirror it across the middle plane that goes through somewhere over here, right? Or the XZ plane. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to mirror plane, select it, and we're going to try and click it. Of course, we can't click it right now because the box is blocking our way. So all we do is we go to bodies and we just hide it entirely. And now we can click it and we bring it back. But if you look carefully over here, it's only mirroring this last extrude we did. So to make sure it mirrors both extrudes, I'm going to go back to the objects, and you can see it's only one selected. We're going to go down all the way to our timeline, and we're going to select the second extrude as well. This way, both the extrudes are mirrored out, and we can just mirror it like so. Ta-da! Next thing we need to make is a lid. Well, for the lid, I'm just going to click on this again. Once again, extrude upwards. And let's say it's a 5 mm lid. 5. Nice thin lid. And once again, we don't want it to join. We want to make it a new component. So we're going to click OK. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to extrude the edges outwards just so that they meet flush. But if you'll notice in the Brownie Motion Smoke Cell, it has a little bit more of an overhang so that it can wrap around and be slid on and off. So let's add, let's say, 5 mm to it, right? Click OK, and we'll go back and do the same thing to the other side. So in total, the entire thing was 15 mm. So we go E and we extrude to 15. Now to draw these other wings, we do this exact same thing. We just go back here and we make a sketch, just like we did before. Create a new sketch on this plane. Oops. this plane, and zoom in here. And we'll start by making a line. Just gonna rotate over here. Make a line. And I'm gonna be really rough with it. Just make a quick line. Nothing too fancy. Doesn't need to be hyper accurate or anything. We'll just make a vague shape in general that looks like it could wrap around. As you can see, the angles are in fact kind of off. Can't tell exactly, but these two are definitely at different angles. So instead of finishing the sketch, what we'll do is we're going to click the parallel function, and we're going to make sure this line is parallel to this line. And then we're going to repeat for this line and this line. By extension, all three of these lines are parallel. You'll notice that in fact that these are now not in sync anymore. These aren't lined up. So all we'll do is we'll grab this point and align it back over here. And we can alter the height of this as well, but I think this is fine for now. Or we can just do this and hook it onto this point to make sure it's actually perfect. Finish up the sketch, and same thing, repeat it again. I'm gonna click E, extrude. No need for a new body, we'll join this time. Same thing on this side. E, extrude, just till it sits flush. And we're gonna do the same thing as before, and we're gonna mirror it over. So for that, what we're gonna need to do is, once again, create, mirror, select these two extrusions, mirror plane, same trick as before, make the body invisible, select the plane, body visible, click OK, and there we go, we've got the lid. But we don't actually have a box. If you think about it, if I just make this lid disappear, we just have a solid cube. Well, that's why we made this a brand new component. All we're going to do is we're going to click on this, and we're going to click on shell. Now that we have this, we can drag it down, in fact. Oops. Shell. And let's say I want to make it a 3 mm thick shell. And I just write 3 in over here. And as you can see, it makes a perfect box. If I had it connected as one giant piece along with these wings, it wouldn't have been able to do this so easily. And it would have been more of a slanted inwards box, but I wanted just something like this. So now we can, in fact, add some fanciness to it. Let's say I want to make the lid look a little bit cooler, right? I want to make these edges rounded. All I do is I click this right on this edge, and I click F for fillet, and I can add some curvature to the. So let's do 2.5 mm. Okay, looks cool, yeah. We can do the same thing for this edge. F, and can't go too far, remember. But actually, let's just go over here to right about 2 mm. That works. Replicate the same things on this side. We could mirror, or we could just do this. If you want to mirror, do all the changes beforehand and then mirror. That way you won't need to do everything on both sides. Once again, F, fillet it to 2 mm. There we go. Let's make the inside, or the wings of the box, filleted as well. Instead of filleting it, however, all we're going to do is we're going to chamfer it, and it's going to give a more angular bezel-like fillet. So I'm going to click on this edge, click here, and chamfer, and go down by, let's say, 2 mm once again. Ta-da! We've got a nice cleaner look over here. Not so sharp. We're not going to hurt ourselves. Same thing over here. Modify, chamfer. And here, ta-da, that works perfectly well. And we can just pop the other one on here as well. Perfect. That's a basic intro to building a box. You should try and mess around with the dimensions, make boxes of different sizes, and 3D print them out, try them out. You're going to need to do a lot of prototyping before you get your ideal design. But hey, that's the fun part of the process. So enjoy.